Hello and welcome back to another Mound and Blade Warband video. As usual, I'm hoping that you're all safe and well during this pandemic. And as usual, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe. It really does mean a lot if you do subscribe and help the channel grow. I'm hoping to try and catapult my way to about 200 subs. Hopefully more than that very soon. And I'm going to continue to try and churn out some more and more videos of Mound and Blade Warband and other things. And as usual, if you want, you can answer this question in the comment section below. So, who do you enjoy playing as a part of a faction elf? I enjoy playing either as Rhodoks or part of the Swardians. It's just my pick because I just prefer them much more with their troops and their position on the map, and I just like them a bit more. So, who do you like to play alongside of, or do you prefer just to go straight out and try and become your own king? Answer that in the comment section below. So this video is all about obviously recruiting and training, and I've got some little tips for everyone. So obviously, due to the fact that I took the castle, I now need in a desperate supply of my troops again, not so much my cavalry but obviously my melee and range units. So I need to hurry around and recruit as many troops as possible and get them trained up as quickly as possible. So I usually ride around with Swardian Knights or the Man-at-Arms, but obviously I needed to keep them in one of the castles as obviously guards. Because we're at war with the Kingdom of Vhagar, the Kingdom of Swardia and the Saradin Sultanate. Obviously that's 3 different wars coming. I know that the Kingdom of Vhagar's war has been going on for a very long time, and recently I've just beaten, just before this video actually, because I started going around myself, I'd just beaten the King of Vhagar's, and I just smashed his 200 troops, and I lost a load of troops myself. So I thought I'd start recording video so I don't miss out on any more decent battles. There's a lot of people raiding around at the moment, and it was a case of me trying to dodge, trying to get to villages, trying to get troops and try and get these guys trained up as quickly as possible. So the few tips I do have is when it comes to obviously upgrading your own levels of your character in the game and your companions, you need to be kind of a little bit selective. So for me, I'm very selfless. I massively train up on the trainer level, obviously it quickens the pace of the training overnight and during battles. I also train up pathfinding quite high, because it means that the party is actually much quicker, so we can get around, we can dodge enemies, we can get around to the villages as fast as possible. Obviously spotting comes along with that, and tracking and that type of stuff, but I usually, it's more pathfinding I go for. And then you need to go for the free medical training levels. So you need to go for the wound treatment, the surgery and the first aid. Obviously the wound treatment increases the party healing speed, so obviously if guys get knocked out, they're going to get back into the fight for the next fight quicker. Surgery, because then it gives you a higher chance that instead of one of your members of your troop actually being killed, they're just going to get knocked out. And then obviously first aid, so all heroes can regain their 5% per skill level of hit points lost during a mission. So if I get knocked out, next mission I go into, I'm actually not going to be as depleted as before. That helps out obviously with the fights and everything like that. So we need to get these levels high as possible. So obviously increasing your attributes and your intelligence will help in that, and you just get them up as high as possible, so it can help. So obviously you need to go around all your friendly thieves, but you also have to remember any thieves you've raided previously, or you've done a mission for a lord before where it's then negatively affected your relations with that village, such as collecting taxes, going to go and hunt down a villain. If you've done these things in these thieves, obviously they're not going to like you, they're not going to allow you to recruit from them. So you need to be able to get them back on your side. So to do that, you need to go to the village centre, you need to go to the village elder, and you need to do tasks for them. Other ways you can actually obviously help raise positive relations with a thief is if you go into a tavern and you see a farmer, they need help with getting rid of bandits or training up the villagers, do that task. If you arrive at a thief and it's got loads of bandits, help clear that out, and like I say, just go to the village elder and do tasks for them. But obviously it helps though if when you've done that good deed for them and they're offering you something, if you reject that and say no, you guys need that more than me, obviously that's going to raise your relation a little bit more with them, and it's going to raise your honour, which is a good thing, because obviously higher honour is a lot better with all the relations with the lords in the realm as well. So help the villagers out, get a higher relation. The higher relation you get with the villagers, the higher recruitment you're going to get from that village as well. So remember these little things. So obviously, as you're going around, if you're like me, sometimes when you dump a load of all your troops into an actual castle to garrison, obviously the problem then is that if you've got a very small party and you've got you got to get all around the map to try and go and get your recruits. If you come across deserters, bandits, barbarians, other enemies, obviously they're going to come for you because you've got a small party, you're weak, everything like that. So to help with that, if you have a high renown means that you can have less troops and people will bother you less because they're not going to trifle with you because they know who you are. So the higher renown you have, the better chance you've got for getting through these lands without being attacked by every single bandit group. So remember that as well. And obviously one of the main things when you're coming towards training up your troops, obviously you're going to have money. It's actually very pricey eventually, especially when you get towards the higher end upgrades, because for example, for me, I literally just put in my most upgraded troops into my castles, because obviously castles give you a high rent, so they need to be protected. It's your land as well. You know, you get quite a lot of bonuses. You know, people dump prisoners into your castle as well if they're riding by. It's a benefit to have the castle. Obviously, it gives you a bit more power as well. So, obviously the quickest way to train your troops, like I've said already, is to engage in battles, whether that be against barbarians or enemy. It is the best idea to get into battles, just like the one about to occur when I took my eyes off the screen and the Saranid Sultanate came up to me with a huge army, and very worthy battle. But at the time, obviously, I'd just taken my eyes off the screen because I've just found out that one of my castles was about to be raided, so I now desperately need to get around as many troops as possible and get them trained up. So even though this wasn't a great fight, I needed this because obviously a decent fight where you've beaten them, you've been outnumbered, the higher experience points, the more of your troops can get trained up. So obviously you need to be careful about who you engage with. Keep an eye on the screen. So obviously a high spotting level as well will help with that. Because obviously you don't want to engage in either an enemy that's got too many troops or have a very high upgraded army. Obviously if they've got literally a full troop of Saranid Malamites, rather, the heavy cavalry, then Mamelukes, they're heavy cavalry, then obviously they're going to go straight through all my new recruits, you know, and low level army. They're going to wipe us out easy enough. So you've got to be aware of that and try and do your best you can, obviously as the main character, to kill as many troops as possible to help out. So obviously my goal here in this video is to recruit as much as possible, get them upgraded, and especially now, get back to my castle. So for example, I usually like to put in certain troops into my castle, so I'm a big fan of putting Rodok or Swadian sergeants into my castles alongside Rodok or Swadian sharpshooters, And then I do also like sometimes to put in Swardian Knights, just because you've got your sergeants who are the hard-hitting troops, you've got the sharpshooters who are very accurate, very deadly, and you've got the Swardian Knights which have a lot of armour and defence. So obviously it does depend on what type of siege your castle gets against it, whether it's a high ladder through the breach, it's a low ladder through a wide breach, or a siege tower. You've got to remember these little factors as well. And also, if you're like me, for obviously trying to get troops in, do you care about what troops you put in your castles, or do you have a certain unit that you want to put in? Put that into the comment section below. Let me know what you prefer to put in your castles as well. So obviously we need to get through this, get back as soon as possible, and this is why my next video is actually going to be on how to, giving a few tips on how to defend a castle as well. And like I say, I'm going to go into more details on that one, on what are the best attributes to have on that, and what skills to have, obviously, and just going into general information. So obviously, just to summarise, so obviously my main points here are get the right skill levels, get the right units that you want, have the right relations with your fiefs, and if you obviously, if you need to improve on them, you need to do that as soon as possible, because obviously you can't recruit from fiefs that have been raided. So if that's going to limit the pool of villages you can go to, you need to be able to recruit the maximum amount as possible from a fewer villages. Obviously, if you're in a huge war like myself right now, we're in a war with 3 different kingdoms, so we need to get through that as soon as possible. You need to get the best out of your recruiting drive, like I say. So get through it, have a higher training, engage with different armies, don't get your troops too killed, obviously, so having a look at what you're about to engage upon as well will help out. Kill as many as you can, and then obviously wait for the end of the battle to be able to upgrade your troops again. Obviously waiting overnight as well, that will help, because if you wait overnight, it helps with obviously training as well. You get training XP per day. So, and then obviously you need the money to do that, and you need to have the inventory to have enough food for your troops. So it was going very well for us. That little battle there did kill off a lot of my troops. However, a lot of my troops are now able to be upgraded. So we are looking quite well. So even if I turned up to a castle now with these troops, I have plenty of upgraded decent troops now for my garrison, or at least to help defend this next siege. So we are looking in good shape. So we're now coming to the end of the video, so like I said before, if you drop a comment in the section below, tell me which kingdoms do you like to run with in the game, or do you like just to run for yourself and make your own kingdom? And also, what is your preferable units that you will either ride around with in your party, or will you garrison into a castle? So obviously, please make sure to like, comment and subscribe. It really means a lot if you subscribe. Help me get towards 200 subs and above. Brilliant. Thank you very much. I hope you found this video informative and helpful. Like I said, make sure to subscribe. Thank you very much.